William Shakespeare wrote Othello in 1603, and a little bit backstory on Othello. He is a prince that lives in Venice, Italy, and he is an appointed general in the Venetian army, which is very important once we get later into the story. Within Othello, there are some common themes: love, betrayal, and revenge. Love, because Rodrigo is in love with Desdemona, but knows that he won't ever get to be with her. And obviously, Othello and Desdemona, because they are married and they do love each other. Betrayal, because Iago ultimately ends up trying to make everybody turn their back on Othello and tries to kill him. And revenge also comes from Iago, because he is already upset that he did not get the lieutenant job that Michael Cassio got. The play opens up with an argument between Rodrigo and Iago. They are arguing over Desdemona not falling in love with Rodrigo, but with Othello instead. Iago reinsures his hatred towards Othello to Rodrigo because he did not get the lieutenant position, and it was also given to Michael Cassio. They go to Desdemona's dad, Barbonzio, and try to convince him that he has been robbed, and Othello has taken his daughter away from him. With the defeat of the Turks, Othello then throws a huge celebration for that and his marriage. While at the celebration, he gets mad at Iago for making a fool of himself while being drunk. And also at the same time, Rodrigo goes up to Othello and starts saying all this stuff about how Cassio is trying to get with Desdemona, ultimately making Othello even more upset.
Desdemona and Emilia are coming in and telling Othello that he needs to go to dinner, but he tells them that he tells the ladies that he has a headache. And so Desdemona offers to put her handkerchief on his head and wrap it and tie it, and then he just says it's too small and pushes it away, and it falls to the floor. So then they leave. Othello and Desdemona leave, and Iago had asked Emilia 1,000 times to get that handkerchief from Desdemona, and so she finally saw the opportunity and grabbed it for her husband. And so then, after she leaves the room, she surprises Iago with it, and he's ecstatic. And so then as soon as he gets it, he tells her to leave. So Iago starts sowing in more seeds of doubt and making Othello get all riled up, because he's sowing more seeds of doubtfulness of Desdemona being faithful to him, and tells Othello that he's seen Cassio with Desdemona's handkerchief, which was a gift from Othello. And so Othello, in a fit of anger, swears to kill Desdemona and Cassio, and then he goes to confront his wife and asks him that where her handkerchief is, and she says she doesn't know, and so he keeps pressing her and asking, and she doesn't know, and she uses Cassio to change the subject and asking him to reinstate him as the lieutenant, but then that just makes Othello angrier and more convinced that her and Cassio are having an affair. So after Othello and Iago decide to kill Desdemona and Cassio, Iago tells Rodrigo, who's in love with Desdemona, to help him kill Cassio, and he agrees. So Rodrigo attacks Cassio, but then he misses and strikes Cassio's armor, so then Cassio attacks him back. And so then Iago comes and stabs Cassio in the leg. And so then he runs away, and 2 guards come looking after hearing the screams for help. And so then Iago comes back and pretends to find Cassio, and so then he says that Rodrigo is the assailant, and then kills Rodrigo and makes it look like he's the one that attacked Cassio. Meanwhile, Othello is in the other room trying to kill his wife, and so he's standing over her with a candle, and so he leans over and kisses her and tells her to prepare to die. And so then they argue, they fight, they struggle. He smothers her with a pillow and kills her. And then Othello finds out that Iago was lying and that he killed his wife for nothing. So, in a fit of sadness and guilt and anger, he kills himself. And then Iago kills his wife after exposing him for being a liar to Othello, and that's how Othello found out and got very upset. And so then the guards arrest Iago, and then Othello kills himself.